I'm Caleb Silver, the president of Cebu and the editor-in-chief of Investigative. I'm delighted to help kick off Cebu's 27th annual Best in Business Awards. Business journalism has never been stronger. You could see it across media every single day, but you really see it among the nominees and winners of our Best in Business Awards this year. I'd like to thank all the organizations and journalists who entered their work this year, all of the judges who spent a lot of time judging all this terrific work, our team at Cebu for coordinating the awards, and our Best in Business conference chairs, Joanna Ossinger and Scott Wenger, for bringing this all together. We're going to be awarding those awards right here, right now, but we're also going to be celebrating the best in business at our spring conference in New York City, May 12th and 13th. So check out cebu.org to find out more about the conference and sign up and come see us there. Also, we'd like to thank you for supporting Cebu, all of our members and all the folks who help make things possible for this organization. We appreciate everything you do, and we appreciate your donations, and you can continue to help us by donating today. So visit cebu.org to find out where to do that. Now let's get on to the winners of Cebu's Best in Business Awards this year.
I'm Joanna Ossinger, Global Markets Editor at Bloomberg, coming to you from Singapore. I'm thrilled to be co-hosting Cebu's 27th Annual Best in Business Awards celebration. Thank you for being with us this evening, and I'd like to thank the ceremony's sponsor and my employer, Bloomberg News. Bloomberg is proud to sponsor this event and to honor great work from all corners of the business journalism world. Now, I'd like to introduce my Best in Business Awards co-chair and co-host, Scott Wenger, Chief Content Officer of Volpe Milner.
Thanks very much, Joanna. I'm at my home office in New York City, and like you, excited for the Cebu ceremony, honoring exceptional, truly inspiring journalism. The quality and quantity of the entries, a record for Cebu this year, nearly 1,300, was extraordinary. World-class and world-changing business and financial journalism. As we begin, please share congratulatory Best in Business Award tweets and other posts with the hashtag CebuBIB. That's hashtag Cebu, S-A-B-E-W, B-I-B. We'd also want to thank the more than 200 judges who dedicated their time, talent, and wisdom to reviewing and judging the awards. It's time-consuming but essential, and also so gratifying and affirming of the state of the profession.
We will open the ceremony with the Commentary and Opinion Awards, which recognize coverage that reflects the point of view of a writer or news organization. The category includes unsigned editorials, individual columns, and blogs. The winner in the large division is Michelle Singletary's "The IRS is a Hot Mess," written for the Washington Post. The judges praised Singletary's columns for featuring strong personal details and a well-crafted individual voice. An honorable mention in this division goes to Lee Yuan of the New York Times.
The Commentary Opinion winner in the medium division is Vivia Chen of Bloomberg Industry Group for Vivia Chen Unfiltered. Vivia's columns for Bloomberg Law stood out for sharp writing, superb leads, and her reporting, the judges told us, crediting her lively writing style and decision to address timely topics. Her columns were incisive and tart, just what you want from opinion writers. An honorable mention is awarded to Joshua Brown of Fortune for "Your Father's Stock Market is Never Coming Back."
In the small division, the winner is Jonathan Gayer of the American Prospect for "The Business of Strategic Consultants." His work lifted the lid on the amorphous quality of this consultancy gig, the judges said. The honorable mentions in the division are awarded to Dr. Cynthia R. Greenlee of the Counter for Innovation and The Incinerated Tongue, Notes on Hot Chicken, Race, and Culinary Crossover. Moving on to the feature writing category, the winner in the large division is CNBC.com for "Inside Afghanistan's Cryptocurrency Underground as the Country Plunges into Turmoil." The judges felt it was innovative and addressed a complex topic with clear writing and engaging characters.
There are also two honorable mentions here: the Washington Post for "Facebook Under Fire," and National Public Radio for "The Value of Low-Wage Work in America." In the feature writing medium division, the Best in Business Award goes to Lauren Smiley for a contributed piece for Wired titled He thought he could outfox the gig economy. He was wrong. The judges enthused that Lawrence Smiley pulled off a feature writing trifecta. It was a joy to read, brought an essential business subject to life, and effortlessly advances our knowledge of a telling event. In 3 short opening graphs, Smiley manages to introduce the protagonist, who has an addiction to his gig job, and also to the public condemnation of his parenting skills, while throwing the reader immediately into the action on the night his phone was stolen, and then his car with his kids inside. This tale, touching on broad issues in the rapidly changing economy, was written with pizzazz, verve, and the sweep of a master storyteller.
Honorable mentions are awarded to Fortune for Hawkeye Elegy, Nikkei Asia for Beijing's Secret Chipmaking Champions, How Washington's Sanctions Boosted China's Semiconductor Sector, and the Boston Globe for After the Boom. The winner of the small division in feature writing is Fast Company for the ascent of Sarah Nelson, Workers' Great Hope. The judges said the work provides an illuminating look at the state of labor movement in America and its future directions. There are 2 honorable mentions, Nashville Business Journal for the Daryl Freeman profile, and The Information for Tim Cook's Secret Deal.
Next up are the winners in the audio podcast category, which judges all media outlet sizes together. The winner is a collaboration of Kaiser Health News and Reveal for Into the COVID ICU. A new doctor bears witness to the isolation, inequities of the pandemic. This hour-long story is a stunningly rich depiction of the most vital actors in the war against COVID, the doctors on the front line. The story, at once heartbreaking and inspiring, is impossible to pause once begun, the judges found, delivered as an immersive audio experience that transports listeners into the trenches of the battle. An honorable mention goes to Marketplace for How We Survive White Gold and the Necessary Evil.
A second honorable mention goes to a collaboration of the Wall Street Journal and Gimlet Media for To the Moon. The third honorable mention is awarded to Marketplace for The Uncertain Hour, To Catch a Chicken, and Big Boss, Little Boss. Congratulations. Moving to the banking finance category, the winner in the large division is the Financial Times for Race and Finance, which was a deep dive into why entrepreneurs from communities of color have a tougher time getting credit and why it's more expensive.
An honorable mention in the banking and finance large category goes to Bloomberg News for The Collapse of Archegos Capital Management. On to the medium division. The winner is the Cincinnati Enquirer for Workhorse, how an unprofitable electric vehicle company made insiders millionaires. Solid digging and writing by a sole reporter that shined a bright light on possible executive wrongdoing, likely unjust enrichment based on inside information, and the revelation of a government investigation. An honorable mention goes to Toronto's Globe and Mail for The Collapse of Bridging Finance.
The winner in the small division is The Counter for After a Last-Ditch Lawsuit is Filed in Texas, Black farmers wait to learn the fate of the USDA's imperiled debt relief program. Safia Charles weaves a story that grabs the reader from the first paragraph, the judges said, and takes them deep into a world of small farms and historical injustice that most know little to nothing about. An honorable mention in the division goes to the Portland Business Journal for Cracked Foundation.
Now on to one of our new categories this year, Best Range of Work, which recognizes distinguished work by a single journalist across the broad spectrum of topics and content platforms. The winner in the large division is Sam Dean of the Los Angeles Times. Exceptional range demonstrating savvy, clever, analytical writing, plus angles that separated him from the pack and showed readers new sides of widely reported stories. An honorable mention in the large division goes to Kevin Roos of the New York Times.
In the medium division of Best Range of Work, the winner is Alex Heath from The Verge, who, the judges said, showcased his ability to deliver breaking news reporting, high-level analysis, and great interview gets across a variety of platforms. In the small division, the winner is Nathan Rubelka of the St. Louis Business Journal, with a smart display of feature writing and analysis on a broad range of topics.
Next up, data journalism. Winners are recognized for exceptional content that's premised on data and clearly and compellingly displays it. In the large division, the winner is Bloomberg News for race and recovery. This package used data to tell a story otherwise obscured by data. The team's ability to isolate and effectively visualize demographic nuance resulted in a comprehensive picture that resonated more profoundly than other entries that explored the same topic, the judges said. Including smart data visualizations, this was an exemplary project showing what data journalism can accomplish. Honorable mention in this division goes to the Los Angeles Times for the groundwater crisis in California's San Joaquin Valley. In the data journalism medium division, the winner is the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette for troubled transparency. Most Pennsylvania hospitals fail to reveal their prices to the public, as required by federal mandate. This package had amazing sweep and context on an issue that affects virtually everyone, determining how much hospitals charge for procedures. The reporters spent months looking at more than 100 hospital websites. They downloaded reams of data and crunched it to see which hospitals were complying with a transparency law requiring hospitals to post prices online. The reporters, administrators pushed for answers and wouldn't relent when hospital administrators offered lame excuses, including impressive interactive tables. This was a masterpiece of accountability journalism, the judges concluded.
The honorable mention is awarded to a collaboration of the Arizona Republic and the Desert Sun for draining the forests. In the small division, the winner is Quartz for an analysis of 27,000 Instagram images shows that fashion's BLM reckoning was mostly bluster. This was super creative, the judges said. Who ordinarily thinks of images when we talk about data analysis? It was extremely well organized and presented, they said, with numerous touch points for click-through. The honorable mention for the small division is awarded to Crane's New York Business for Car City.
Moving on to the economics category, the winner in the large division is the New York Times for green jobs. Time and again, President Biden has said a green economy will create good jobs for middle-class workers. That may sound plausible, and investors are pouring money into solar farms and electric vehicle plants. But Times economics reporter Noam Scheiber's deep dive into the economics of a green economy turned up many reasons to doubt the upbeat predictions. While the need to reduce fossil fuels is obvious, it is not at all clear green jobs will easily replace existing high-paying jobs. This important issue is given serious treatment in the consistent, compelling voice of one dogged economics reporter, the judges told us. An honorable mention in this division is awarded to the Wall Street Journal for the supply chain snarl untangled. The winner in economics medium division is ProPublica for secret IRS files. The judges were impressed by the quality and depth of reporting and sourcing. The stories broke new ground, raising questions about fairness and taxation, particularly for the wealthiest Americans. The policy implications from this coverage are hard to discount.
An honorable mention in this division is given to the Houston Chronicle for The Great Divide. And in the small division, the winner is the Chicago Booth Review for how the 1% savings buried the middle class in debt. This in-depth story brings to light one of the most problematic economic dynamics of our era, the judges said. The honorable mention goes to Capital and Main for America's wealth gap is enormous and getting worse.
Next is the energy natural resources category. The winner in the large division is a collaboration of NBC News Investigations, the New York Times, and the Pulitzer Center on Crisis Reporting for rainforest destruction, the supply chains to US consumers. This sweeping and ambitious group of pieces is impressive in its global reach and depth. Its exploration of world trade is exemplary, the judges noted, as was the use of multimedia elements. This project also represents exceptional collaboration among media entities. We have 2 honorable mentions in this division: Reuters for corporate greenwashing and the New York Times for Race to the Future.
The winner of the medium division is the California Newsroom for Bankrupt, a year-long investigation into profiteering from the nation's first climate change bankruptcy. The judges said, this is a case where top-flight investigative journalism made a real difference in exposing and, to some degree, lessening a truly extraordinary concentration of abuse and greed. The winner in the small division is The Counter for how a federal drought relief program left Southern Oregon parched and contributed to the ongoing groundwater crisis in the West. The judges were impressed with the clarity of Jessica Spoo's writing, the use of visual elements, and the extensive sourcing and research that went into reporting a piece about the complicated challenges facing multiple communities.
There are 2 honorable mentions: the Texas Tribune for the winter storm and the Texas power grid, and Arctic Today for a changing Bering Sea. Now moving to Cebu's Best in Business Awards for explanatory journalism. The winner in the large division is the New York Times for the Amazon Workplace. This series stood out because of its penetrating reporting and authoritative narration of Amazon's labor model. The company's HR practices puncture Amazon's reputation for perfect efficiency and a progressive ethos, the judges told us. The inside documents and interviews with employees up and down Amazon's corporate hierarchy created an unparalleled view of callousness toward frontline workers who took great risks with their health, which allowed millions of Americans to stay home safe. There is also an honorable mention, which is awarded to the Los Angeles Times for the COVID economy.
The winner in Explanatory Awards Medium Division is Fortune for Insulin's Deadly Cost. The judges said this investigation takes readers into what it calls a surreal world in which manufacturers compete not by cutting prices, but by raising them. 3 honorable mentions are awarded to Kaiser Health News for a pandemic year in American hospitals, banner profits or bankruptcy. The Omaha World Herald for the state of beef, and a collaboration of the Boston Globe and Portland Press Herald for the lobster trap.
In the small division, the Best in Business Award is presented to American City Business Journal's National Content Desk for Death, Taxes, and Ivory Towers. This project took a hard look at a deeply entrenched tax benefit given to America's educational institutions, revealing the unintended economic and social consequences to the cities that are home to major universities and colleges. The package presented a well-written and organized series of stories based on thorough and meticulous reporting, data, and exclusive information obtained through the Freedom of Information Act. 2 honorable mentions go to the Center for Public Integrity for Cheated at Work and to the Texas Tribune for the power grid crisis in Texas.
Covering the topic of government, the winner in the large division is the Wall Street Journal for Hidden Interests. The judges noted that reporters identified 131 federal judges who heard hundreds of cases between 2010 and 2018 involving companies in which they or a family member owned stock, in violation of federal law and judicial ethics rules. An honorable mention for the large division is also awarded to the Wall Street Journal for the growing use of commercial data spying.
In the government category medium division, the winner is the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel for National Guard turmoil. Stories on the Guard's handling of sexual assault allegations, as well as articles on the suicides of 4 Wisconsin guardsmen who'd returned from service in Afghanistan, were noteworthy for their sensitivity, but also the broader theme of innocents caught in situations beyond their control. The Journal Sentinel editor noted in the entry that the articles prompted changes in how the Guard handles sexual assault cases and an increase in state funding to help prevent suicides. Well done. There are two honorable mentions. ProPublica for unchecked, America's broken food safety system, and to Fortune for Dominion voting, big lies versus big lawsuits.
The winner in the small division is the Center for Public Integrity for Cheated at Work. It's never easy to report on what amounts to the hole in the donut. In this case, the absence of the Labor Department action. The project succeeded in doing that, the judges said. An honorable mention is also awarded to the Center for Public Integrity for the favored few.
Moving to the Best in Business Awards for health and science coverage. The winner in the large division is the Wall Street Journal for the hidden truth, hospitals' pricing power. The judges commended how the reporters untangled what they called the insanity of US healthcare pricing with hard data and a compelling narrative. And what should be a wake-up call for lawmakers, the reporting left little doubt that many providers are skirting a federal rule that hospitals make pricing public and easily accessible to consumers. The stories were deeply reported and anchored by crisp writing and real-world examples that brought heart to this compelling and comprehensive analysis. An honorable mention is awarded to the Financial Times for COVID-19 vaccine rollout. The winner in Health and Science Medium Division is the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel for Wires and Fires. This series went deep on an issue many people don't think about, the threat of electrical fires, illustrating how this affects low-income households more profoundly than others made the series particularly impactful. The Journal Sentinel could have stopped there, but it hired an expert to look at properties, underscoring its conclusions about inequities in an impressive presentation that was both informative and easily digestible.
An honorable mention is awarded to a collaboration of ProPublica, the Texas Tribune, and Mountain State Spotlight for Sacrifice Zones, Mapping Cancer-Causing Industrial Air Pollution. A second honorable mention is awarded to Fortune for Insulin's Deadly Cost. The winner in the small division is a collaboration of Block Club Chicago and Better Government Association for Loretto Hospital. Once the shots were on offer, many Americans stepped over anyone they had to in order to get theirs first, and hospital staff stretched to their limits received little in the way of backup, judges said. Kelly Bauer and David Jackson's coverage of vaccine distribution at Loretto Hospital shows us the real damage that was done as a result.
Two honorable mentions in this division are awarded to STAT for selling certainty. In a sea of skeptics, this physician was one of fibromyalgia patients' few true allies, or was he? STAT's other honorable mention is for how America's largest Catholic hospital system is moonlighting as a private equity firm. Moving now to the Best in Business Awards for Innovation, our category that honors highly creative, multimedia efforts to report, present, or distribute stories. The winner in the large division is the New York Times for immersive 3D storytelling. This three-part entry marshaled the Times' resources to produce compelling and important journalism using visual storytelling techniques that are second to none, the judges told us. The Tulsa Project was perhaps the most impressive, given the historical distance and the enormity of the crime, but all three were first-class projects and displayed significant imagination and ambition.
The winner in the medium division is a collaboration of ProPublica, the Texas Tribune, and Mountain State Spotlight for Sacrifice Zones, Mapping Cancer-Causing Industrial Air Pollution. In the small division, the award is given to CoStar Group for Path of Amazon's 100 million square foot journey to real estate dominance. Lots of really detailed work here, the judges said, and it's great to see smaller news organizations shining a light on the types of mega corporations that demand such scrutiny. Also, the map zoom-ins were very nicely done.
International reporting now. The Best in Business Award in the large division goes to Bloomberg Green for methane emissions. These important stories shed new light on climate-threatening methane emissions, where they are, how to find them, and what is and isn't being done about them. While dealing with a highly technical topic, the judges found the reporters diligently avoided climate jargon and unpacked dense issues with engaging writing. Even in a contest category that brimmed with excellent submissions, this high-impact work stood out, the judges decided. Cebu also awards an honorable mention to the Financial Times for the David Cameron lobbying scandal.
In the medium and small divisions, the winner is Nikkei Asia for Inside Cambodia's online scam gangs. This well-written series illuminated the devastation that online scam gangs cause, the judges said. It deftly wove strong research into stories of real-life loss and did so in a way that allowed readers to truly grasp how significant the issue is. An honorable mention is awarded to The Information for Apple's compromises in China. Our investigative category honors in-depth enterprise reporting that brings important information to light and demonstrates an obvious need for change. The winner in the large division is the Wall Street Journal for the Facebook files. The series featured remarkable reporting and writing that exposed the ways Facebook knew it was injuring its 3 billion plus users and the repeated failures to make efforts to protect the users, the judges said. The impact was meaningful, including hearings by lawmakers, major product changes, and a harsh global reckoning. Honorable mentions are awarded to the Los Angeles Times for CBS TV stations, a collaboration of the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, the Miami Herald, and the Washington Post for Pandora Papers, and the Washington Post for Inside Huawei.
The winner in Investigative Medium Division is ProPublica for Unchecked, America's Broken Food Safety System. This expose uncovered the persistent prevalence of drug-resistant salmonella in the nation's chicken supply, finding that as much as 1/3 of all ground chicken may be infected. Exhaustive reporting and ingenious research analyzed genomic sequencing data to demonstrate the spread of salmonella throughout US poultry, worsened, the judges found, by a baffling and largely toothless food safety system ill-equipped to protect consumers or rebuff industry influence. ProPublica also produced an effective consumer protection tool as a sidebar, a database called Chicken Checker that allows individuals to track the safety records of the company's plants that process the chicken or turkey they are about to eat.
2 honorable mentions are awarded in this division: Kaiser Health News for The Spinal Tap and Star Tribune for Unsettled, cashing in on accident victims. The winner of the small division is Stat for coverage of the controversial approval of an Alzheimer's drug. Adam Feuerstein, Damien Gard, Matthew Herper, and Nicholas Flarco's work is a powerful expose of the ways industry can maneuver to sway regulators, the judges said. 2 honorable mentions are awarded to the Portland Business Journal for Exiled on Main Street and Investigate Midwest for Pain Denied at one of the country's largest meatpacking plants. Workers say their injuries were ignored.
Up next, Investing in Markets. The Best in Business Award in the large division goes to Bloomberg News for Crypto Craze. Amid 2021's novel and risky investment market activity, the judges lauded Bloomberg's wealth team for its fantastic job exploring cryptocurrencies. The reporters' engaging storytelling animated the dangers, absurdity, and potentially lucrative payoffs of the crypto markets through colorful sources who are as sanguine about being the victims of ripoffs as they were nonchalant about perpetrating them. The writing was as rollicking and risky as the protagonists themselves. An honorable mention in the large division is awarded to the New York Times for Cryptoland. In the Investing in Markets medium division, the winner is Bloomberg Industry Group for Clients Cry Foul over litigious litigation finance company. On the face of it, litigation finance promises to help underwrite the costs of litigation until a decision is reached. But Bloomberg Law's in-depth reporting highlighted the pitfalls some attorneys have encountered with these complex deals, including bankruptcy. The deep reporting was scrupulously fair while also showing the human impact of these tricky financing agreements.
An honorable mention is awarded to Arizent for Build What Better? In the small division, the award goes to The Information for venture capital upheaval. Kate Clark and Berbergen delivered a series of deeply reported and clearly written articles on a seismic shift in the venture capital industry, the judges said. Moving on to the media and entertainment category, the winner of the large division is the Los Angeles Times for CBS TV stations. The LA Times reporting showed that while CBS took steps to reform its troubled workplace culture in recent years, it didn't address alleged discrimination involving managers of the 28 local TV stations it owns, despite previously hiring 2 white shoe law firms to conduct an investigation, the judges said. As a result of this laborious reporting, the CBS TV station's president and several other longtime top executives departed.
An honorable mention in the large division is awarded to the Wall Street Journal for misconduct at Activision. The winner in the medium and small divisions is The Atlantic for a eulogy for the free press in Hong Kong. This story took us inside the untimely demise of Hong Kong's Apple Daily, the independent pro-democracy newspaper. The paper lasted more than a quarter century, but was unable to survive under new legal restrictions imposed by Beijing. The reporters tap a wealth of sources to take us through Apple Daily's origins, its growth as a beacon of free speech and independent journalism, and the withering attacks it endured under a new security law used to crush it, including jailings, raids, and freezing its assets. The story illuminates the larger implications for not just journalism in Hong Kong, but freedom itself for citizens who face a dark future.
An honorable mention is awarded to The Information for the streaming wars. Next, in the newsletter contest, large division, the winner is the Financial Times for Unhedged. Veteran columnist Robert Armstrong dives into some of the biggest fallacies dished up by market participants in a witty and engaging way, the judges said.
An honorable mention in this division goes to Bloomberg News for The Dose. The winner in the medium division is Investipedia.com for the Investipedia Express newsletter. Everything an investor or financial markets aficionado needs to start their day. The judges concluded that the newsletter praised its clean and tight writing, good format, and mix of stories. It's clear the writers know their audience.
In the small division, the Best in Business award goes to Impact Alpha for The Brief. The newsletter dives deeply into the dynamic world of impact investment, focusing on the players who are attempting to bring social and economic freedom to often oppressed cultures across the globe, the judges said. An honorable mention goes to The Information for Rise of the Creators.
Time now for the personal finance category. In the large division, Cebu's Best in Business award goes to Bloomberg News for At 93, she waged war on JP Morgan and her own grandsons. This is a remarkably well-executed cautionary tale for family members, judges told us, as well as money managers or others advising elderly people on their finances. It involves a legendary family of means in the retailing industry, the Schottensteins of Columbus, Ohio. The principal story about elder abuse by 2 grandsons who worked for JP Morgan was written almost as a thriller, with all the elements of high drama and a family feud. This great read also provided critical lessons in personal finance. An honorable mention goes to the New York Times for How to Buy Happiness.
The winner in the medium division is the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette for The Year of COVID Unemployment. A powerful package that shows in gripping detail how Pennsylvania's inability to deliver jobless benefits upended the lives and personal finance of some of the state's most vulnerable citizens, the judges said. The reporting also points clearly to needed policy change. In the personal finance category, small division, the award is presented to the AARP Bulletin for Lessons from Inside the Fraud Factory. This entry is a gripping narrative about the software engineer who infiltrated the computers of dozens of telephone scammers as they tried to deceive callers into sending money, the judges said.
Time for real estate. In the large division, the Best in Business Award goes to Bloomberg News for a Trump tax break kicked off a race to redraw US Census maps. Before the Census Bureau even published its maps for 2020, Bloomberg reporters were busy exposing that local officials, members of Congress, and senior Trump administration officials were lobbying to get Census Bureau geographers to change maps to benefit wealthy investors and businesses. A benefit meant to pump more money into overlooked and underdeveloped communities became a vehicle for abuse. The project combined deep reporting and data with compelling graphics, maps, and imagery. There are two honorable mentions, one to NBC News Digital for the fake landlord scam destroys lives in Detroit, but culprits rarely face consequences. An honorable mention also is awarded for a collaboration of the Center for Public Integrity and the Associated Press for the COVID housing crisis.
In the medium division, the winner is a collaboration of the Miami Herald and Tampa Bay Times for Offshore Funds Flood Florida Affordable Housing. The judges felt like the stories were very well reported and dealt with complex topics in clear and easily digestible ways. Judges were impressed by the seamless use of data, anecdotes, and color to help explain how outside investors are changing the face of Florida's real estate market. It was an impressive example of collaborative reporting, they said. An honorable mention is presented to the Arizona Republic for pandemic evictions were halted, but Metro Phoenix landlords still filed for almost 30,000.
In the small division, the award is presented to Realtor.com for a forgotten chapter in US history, when women had to choose between mortgages and motherhood. The judges commended this chronicling of the long and painful history of housing and lending discrimination against women in the US. Realtor.com's reporter spent years investigating the practice, digging into government documents and congressional transcripts. Though housing and lending discrimination based on gender has been illegal since 1974, the stories uncovered how lenders still deny loans to pregnant women and mothers on maternity leave. As a result of this work, the US Department of Housing and Urban Development is examining the issue. We also have two honorable mentions, one to the Portland Business Journal for revitalizing a hub for Black culture, and one to Capital in Maine for the gatekeepers.
New to the contest this year are the real-time reporting categories. First up is real-time reporting live on air, which recognizes broadcast, audio, and streaming video coverage within the first minutes of a breaking story. The winner is CNBC for their real-time reporting and analysis of the Omicron variant. The CNBC team has done remarkable and trend-setting work covering the vaccine, drug makers, and the policies that were major headlines in 2021, the judges said.
Next, the real-time reporting written category. The winner in the large division is the Washington Post for the banning of Trump. The judges cited a series of scoops around the slow motion, then all at once moved by the social media giants to expel former President Trump from their platforms. The coverage was quick, authoritative, and added important context and compelling color to the unfolding action. In the medium division, the winner is the Detroit News for Ford's historic move south. These stories offered compelling and important insights in covering a major breaking story with widespread reader interest and ramifications. The journalists delved into how the decision was made to choose those locations and went beyond reporting the breaking news to include in-depth background and context presented in a lively and highly understandable way.
The winner in the small division for written real-time reporting is the St. Louis Business Journal for St. Louis's $790 million NFL settlement. The judges said this was solid work on the lengthy and complex lawsuit filed by St. Louis interests against the owner of the once St. Louis Rams franchise. In the retail category, large division, the Best in Business Award is presented to the New York Times for Target and Racial Equity. This in-depth reporting digs deep below the surface of a common retail phenomenon in urban America, the judges said, to reveal the severe negative impact big box store closings can have on thriving neighborhoods. With extensive interviews and copious detail, it tells the real story of a primarily Black neighborhood severely impacted by a Target store closing. It also hints at possible remedies that would benefit both commerce and communities.
Honorable mentions in the large division for retail coverage go to Bloomberg News for Fake Meat Gets a Reality Check, and to the Wall Street Journal for Fashion's New China Problem. The winner of the medium division is Kaiser Health News for The Last Drugstore. This series explores the nation's pharmacy deserts, largely focused on rural America, but also including urban areas, highlighting the ways communities lose their last pharmacy and what it means. The well-written and engaging stories show how the vertical integration of the pharmaceutical supply chain has changed the economics of independent pharmacies. The judges were impressed by the depth of reporting that showcased the resourcefulness of some of these communities, including a Chicago neighborhood that keeps a historic drugstore in business.
The winner of the small division is the Portland Business Journal for Exiled on Main Street. Matthew Kish goes beyond simply explaining the business rationale behind Nike's shift away from mom and pop stores in favor of its own retail outlets, the judges said. An honorable mention is awarded to the Puget Sound Business Journal for The Waiting Game, Washington's restaurateurs pin hopes on COVID-19 vaccine.
Next, we have the winners in the small business, management, and careers category. Cebu's Best in Business Award in the large division is the Wall Street Journal for The New Realities of Work. These stories were deeply reported, full of real people, colorful details, and surprising turns. The judges in particular noted that the tale of remote workers secretly taking on multiple jobs was one of the most memorable entries of the year in any category. Honorable mention also goes to the New York Times for How We Work.
The winner of the medium division is the Houston Chronicle for Will to Live. Rebecca Carballo's pieces focused on African-American entrepreneurs were full of well-researched facts and varied quotes that demonstrated energetic legwork. Her narratives provided wider context of the inner-city COVID catastrophe that gave the story of Black small business struggles compelling depth, the judges said. An honorable mention goes to Newsday for Fraud Costing Billions, Restaurant Grants Rescinded, Restaurant Relief.
In the small division, the award is presented to Quartz for a famous type foundry sale to a PE-backed giant has rattled the font industry. The world's biggest font seller's purchase of H&Co explores a niche industry in meticulous detail and offers a window on the worries arising from such an acquisition. The story is illuminating and often funny, complemented by canny reporting and deft writing. An honorable mention goes to Capital and Main for Cart Battle, Los Angeles' code war against street vendors.
Moving on to student journalism, the winner of Projects and Collaboration is the Reynolds School of Journalism for the Hitchcock Project. The 3 articles and mini documentary do a fine job of exploring the tension between economic development and the environment in the West, the judges said. The video, combined with the death threat to the Dixie Valley toad species, social and geographic dangers posed by a lithium mine, and the report on an attempt to reform Nevada's laws regarding electronic waste helped give the project breadth as well as depth.
Staying with student journalism, the winner of stories written for professional publications is the University of South Carolina for Voices from Jefferson Street. The winning entry stood out because it built upon the sound premise that business journalism is, in good part, about people and how they interact with commerce and its interests. Human stories often stand equally alongside numbers and analysis that undergird great business stories. In this case, Nashville's white-hot boom has been threatening to overwhelm Jefferson Street, Nashville's historically Black business district, for the better part of a decade. When Oracle announced plans last year to build a massive campus across the river from Jefferson Street, the stakes for those longtime businesses and residents jumped to impossible heights. The winning entry told their stories without getting in the way. Well done. An honorable mention in this category is presented to New York University for John Hyatt's Stories for Forbes.
The winner of stories produced for student media outlets is the University of South Carolina for the impact of supply chains and inflation on Columbia businesses. The stories were well timed given the impact of supply chain issues on consumer prices and product availability. The judges also were impressed that the reporters got the top U.S. Small Business Administration official in the area to comment extensively. An honorable mention goes to the S.I. Newhouse School of Public Communications for Amazon Fashion Takes Over TikTok FYPs Everywhere. Congratulations.
Time for the technology category. The Best in Business Award in the large division goes to Bloomberg News for Amazon's Machine Bosses. Of all the stories written about Amazon's algorithms over the past decade, this package holds its own, showing how policies or mistakes that might sink a smaller business get diluted by Amazon's scale. In fact, they are built into the algorithms. Sober writing and excellent sourcing pulled these pieces ahead, the judges concluded. An honorable mention for the large division is awarded to the Associated Press for how AI-powered tech landed a man in jail with scant evidence.
The winner in the medium division is Nikkei Asia for Techsploitation. The series humanized an industry that is most often strictly product-based, the judges said. A lot of consumers use their state-of-the-art products at prices they can afford, but don't realize the human price being paid. The honorable mention also goes to Nikkei Asia for Chips in a Changing World.
In the small division, the winner is The Counter for Lab-Grown Meat is Supposed to be Inevitable. The science tells a different story. So many of us want to believe that laboratory-produced food, manufacturing main dishes from Petri dishes, will feed a hungry world, save the planet from climate change, and fill the bellies of consumers and investors alike. The Counter smelled something off about these claims, and the result is an important and disturbing report. It amounted to a frightening tour through the brave new world of lab-grown meat, separates hope from hype, and exposes the fakery behind fake meat. This blunt and extensively researched work is independent journalism at its best, the judges told us. 2 honorable mentions are awarded to the American Prospect for Silicon Valley Takes the Battle Space and to Cyberscoop for Trial and Error in Kuwait.
Next up are the awards for the Business of Sports category. The winner in the large division is the New York Times for Inner Workings of the NFL. This entry was a nice combination of scoops and insightful, in-depth enterprise, the judges said. New York Times reporters Belson and Rosman showed their extensive sourcing within the notoriously private NFL. In the Business of Sports medium division, the winner is Marketplace for The Uncertain Hour Inside Baseball. This excellent explanation of the economics and politics of labor law reported from the cheap seats at minor league baseball fields was clear and clever and is the obvious winner in this category, the judges said. This is a story in plain sight that only a good journalist would spot.
In the small division, the Best in Business Award is presented to the Portland Business Journal for the new college playbook. This story smartly conveys the different facets of an issue that transcended sports coverage. The vignettes helped illustrate the nuances and implications of sponsorship deals for college athletes, and the clear writing makes the story accessible and engaging amid a wealth of data and extensive reporting. Next, we have the travel transportation category. The winner in the large division is the Wall Street Journal for the middle seat. The middle seat column by Scott McCartney has been a must-read for years. In his final year, it's only fitting that he exits with a Sabu Award. His work in one of the most tumultuous years in aviation history was original, insightful, and delightful. Congratulations, Scott.
The honorable mention in this division also goes to the Wall Street Journal for the electric vehicle race hits speed bumps. In the medium division, the winner is the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette for Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission, powerful state agency shrouded in secrecy. This is excellent enterprise to detail the commission's lack of transparency, the judges said. Strong reporting and writing that examines the commission and its members. Impressive reporting that sheds light on an agency whose decisions affect not only hundreds of workers, but millions of drivers.
In the small division, the Best in Business Award is presented to Capital and Maine for a drunk mechanic, shackled immigrants, a crash landing, the dangers of ice flights. The story shines a light on federal aviation contractors that operate largely out of public view. The reporter uses immigration and customs enforcement documents, court filings, and expert interviews to show how carriers that transported undocumented immigrants have shoddy maintenance, inadequate training, and poor oversight. An honorable mention in the small division is awarded to the information for Amazon's trucking toll. The next category, video. In the large division, the Best in Business Award goes to Bloomberg Green for a Methane Menace video series, a shining example of powerful storytelling with visuals that are incredibly compelling and bring heightened urgency to a big challenge in climate change. The reporting is very impressive, putting a spotlight on a massive energy company that few have heard of.
An honorable mention is presented to the Wall Street Journal for how TikTok's algorithm figures out your deepest desires. In the medium division, the award is presented to Milwaukee Journal Sentinel for America's Dairyland at the Crossroads. This was a terrific storytelling about a dying industry that affects not only generations of families, but also a wider population, the judges said, gripping interviews and great video. In the small division, the award is presented to the Chicago Booth Review for how much do parents care about investing equally in their kids. The video gave a thorough explanation about a phenomenon that's around us every day, but little discussed, the judges said, how parents choose allocation of resources between their children.
And now to our final category of Sabu's Best in Business Awards, General Excellence. All of our General Excellence winners demonstrated an exceptional breadth of work, exemplified by one piece from at least 3 of the following categories: a major scoop, coverage of breaking news, explanatory work, investigative content, and visual journalism. The winner of the industry topic-specific publications competition is The Counter, a compelling body of work that examines the people, policy, and money behind the food we eat and where and how we eat it. A story about the collision between the homeless and Google in the streets and restaurants of a bohemian Venice, California neighborhood was meticulously reported and beautifully written. An investigation into prison labor in the food industry, breaking news about a co-founder leaving his company after a research breakthrough, and a beautifully photographed essay on a sustainable family farm rounded out The Counter's work, which set a new bar for excellence in this category. Congratulations to The Counter.
In the small division, the award is presented to Crane's Detroit Business. Beyond great storytelling, breaking news, features, analysis, what struck us most about Crane's Detroit Business is its total commitment to tackling difficult issues in an honest way and without concern for the negative light it may cast on its local subjects, the judges said. Crane's Detroit doesn't shy away from holding those in power accountable, whether it's government officials and plastics manufacturers, like in Great Lakes Pollution, or state-funded preschool programs, like Child Care Conundrum. This kind of reporting is so vital right now, the judges said, as local news is shrinking or disappearing from so many areas of the country. The judges also award an honorable mention to the Nashville Business Journal. Congratulations to you both.
The General Excellence Medium Division Best in Business Award winner is Nikkei Asia. The judges were impressed by the scope and depth of the reporting, especially an entry on Apple's supply chain problems that examined each component of the iPhone, the suppliers, and the specific delivery issues. Nikkei found the smaller and cheaper components were the most problematic issues. Nikkei Asia also excelled in a report from Vietnam, where it found workers sleeping overnight in their factories in order to continue production during the COVID-19 pandemic. This entry contained memorable graphics, photos, and high-quality storytelling, all displaying excellence in modern business journalism. Cebu also awards an honorable mention to Kaiser Health News.
In the General Excellence Large Division, the award is presented to the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal's compelling package of business journalism included one of the year's major investigative stories. Facebook knows Instagram is toxic for teen girls, company documents show. This impact of the Facebook Files project has been truly far-reaching. Similarly, the breaking news scoop on stock trading by the Dallas Fed's Robert Kaplan had immediate national repercussions on the Federal Reserve. The Journal made highly imaginative use of Autobots as part of an outstanding visual explanation of how TikTok's secretive algorithms mold what its millions of users each get to see on screen. The Journal package also included a strongly backgrounded and analytical spot news account of the breakup of General Electric. In a highly competitive category, the Wall Street Journal's range of work and top-notch journalism was best in class in 2021. And at this time, I would like to give my heartfelt thanks to all the judges who participated. We couldn't make this contest happen without you. Your time, energy, and thoughtfulness in making these decisions are very much appreciated. And once again, congratulations to the Wall Street Journal.
Thanks to all of the entrants as well for the exceptionally hard work delivering such meaningful, impactful journalism in historically challenging circumstances. And an appreciative thank you to our Best in Business Awards sponsor, Bloomberg News. We look forward to reading, listening to, and watching the entries you'll be submitting from this year's work, so watch for updates on the 2022 competition. Congratulations to all the honorable mentions and winners of this year's Best in Business Awards.